Everybody have a chance to look at the minutes, right?
Yes, sir.
I think I will remove the sentence that we talked about. If you guys are okay with that.
That's fine with me.
Motion and second to approve.
All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Claims.
Here's the one for the ARPA fund. License. For John Deere Financial, Shelby Rock.
Okay.
Well, that's separate from the.
Yep.
Yeah, we always act on those separately.
Yep.
But it's in your packet of regular claims.
And a side note, Shelby told me last night she wants to have another our thing. So, she wants to make confirm with her purchases, that it's okay.
You know, I think the committee or the board would still have the ultimate say. Maybe she was just
Okay.
I mean, 'cause
Because
what we do in the committee
she
is
wants
just
that, shower house and all that. So, I
wish we
don't know.
knew if we have to spend more on regular.
We will have to
And it was just like,
Yeah.
Quiet. Good.
On the claims, the DHS is just passed through, isn't it?
yeah,
That's what I thought. Okay. And then the motion that we approve. Why is this one, which is separate on the agenda, why is this coming out of ARPA? It's only $439.
But it's what they did on
The fin.
it's
Yeah.
we've already paid a portion of that already too.
Oh, you have it.
yes,
Okay, so it's the balance.
Yeah.
yes, last bill that they had.
Okay.
For some kind of fence deal, post and, for the parking lot there.
Okay. Well, it's two separate
Yeah.
actions. The claims make motion to approve the claims.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll make a motion to approve this, fund, or this claim to be paid, thank you, Cameron, out of the ARPA funds.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Just making sure this one.
Then we have a request from Dean.
Yep. See that? And thank you for putting in a large font. It's easier to
That's for
read.
me too.
I'll make a motion that we approve the vacation carryover.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're okay with the dates and all that on the letter, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Is that in your motion then?
We're going with it. Oh, I just need to carry some over. I've been kind of holding on to a little bit. My, found out my mom has leukemia.
9:05.
This summer. I know what it's going to be here coming up. And between my other siblings, we're going to have to take turns taking her treatment, so.
You wanna do the
But
number 7 and 8 before Mona, since I numbered them?
Okay.
So it's basically-
So,
We do this every year, approval, disapproval of the homestead tax credits, military tax, and the disabled veterans credits for the 22 assessment. There was 2 disallowed. I have the parcel numbers and we'll send them certified letters
okay.
for recommendation, and it'll be by resolution. Same with the business property tax credit. They
Who
list
was
out
on that? Review that.
the assessor. So they have to have, the assessor brings us the recommendations of what they approve.
Thanks, Steve.
There's certain
Thank you.
guidelines from the state if
Okay,
they disallow or allow. Then that's when we have to send them certified.
got it.
So I have the 2 parcels listed on the,
That's fine.
Make a motion that we approve the recommendation, on the, homestead, and those are different addresses.
and that'll be by resolution.
Homestead military exemption, sorry.
Understand.
That was my motion.
Okay. Oh, second. Now,
Kramer. Aye.
human rights. There we go.
And then the business property tax credits, the same thing, it's just,
You want to write on that one?
all of you were, I
And
haven't
then
known.
might come or no?
No, not on those, she won't.
Okay.
She's coming for,
And that's
same thing.
essentially what we do every year.
All right, so, yeah.
I'll make a motion that we approve that business property tax credit.
All right,
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Does that have to be resolution?
that one is a
That one
resolution.
is resolution.
Primer aye.
Okay, aye.
Seaman, aye.
Thank you, then I don't have to renumber them for bonus.
Yeah.
There you go, take that.
Now the 2080.
Okay, and then Haley, did you also put the contract on there?
Yeah, I sent them all that packet stuff.
The, not
Oh, yeah,
2080, but the
on
hub
it,
contract?
yeah, it's on
Okay,
the
perfect.
agenda.
All right, so what I dropped you gentlemen off right before, so you have the full new 28E, but that top sheet just specifies specifically what page, what they changed.
Really helps doing that. Thank you.
But I didn't realize they did that because I told Gary this morning I was gonna like go through both and highlight and tab, and when I called Jan, she's like, oh no, I have like a 1 page with highlighted stuff, and I was like, beautiful, please send that over. Basically, they just had to revise it because where the tax stuff flows from for the mental health now comes from the state, not the counties, so they had to update it. And I know when I was talking to Gary this morning, because they have added kids stuff, so they just kind of had to modify just a handful of areas to make sure that it was updated too. So, and basically we just have to pass it, I think Haley said, by resolution, and then Gary will, I'll get the resolution number from Haley, and then you'll sign it again on the 17th at the Regional Governing Board. Yeah.
It'll be number 2268.
So. But that's all, we just have to have you guys,
Any motions? I don't have any questions. Like I said, this really, really helps. So you go through it.
I said the same thing. When I talked to Gary, I'm like, they're gonna ask me what page, and I'm gonna go,
Sure.
page 2, line 3, section 4.
You need a motion.
Yes, I do.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2080 agreement, mental health disability services for East County.
Second.
By resolution.
Primer aye.
Seaman,
Beautiful. All right, Haley, this is, no, this is not contract, this is the 2080 stuff with the changes that I was going to do. All right, so all of you guys have met Michelle, right? Have you, Lindsay?
I think so.
Okay. So the region, because the region is covering it and it's not fund balance anymore, we had to do, we have to update the contract and the rate sheet. So that way you guys know kind of what the region is paying, all that kind of stuff. So I just need you guys to have it print out. The contract has not changed, just the rate sheet's showing that. So I don't know if you guys all want copies. I'm not meant to really copies, but I certainly can.
let me look at it. I can look at it.
So that is the rate sheet. And so you guys would just, okay,
Yeah, I can email you the packet.
okay, so does everybody have, we should,
But Gary might have, yeah.
I did the email.
okay,
Sorry.
do you want to take a look at it?
Thank you. I slept since then.
So yeah, so that is just the rate sheet showing the $100,000 that the region is paying towards, and then that gets, Haley, that gets billed monthly, correct? So, and I don't, yeah, and then this is the contract. The back page is what we need to sign. You have that? Okay, so this is, I don't know if you wanna look at it, that's the contract, and then the last page is just the signature page. So I just need you guys to approve that and sign.
Well, it's just the.
Yeah, there's some extra blank pages in there, I'm not really sure what that's about, but. The contract is a standard contract that the region has with every single provider, and we've had that Ron and I have previously signed it since the beginning of all of it, so.
So you need a motion to have the chairman sign
And then I can get that back to our contracting department, so that way it's filed and all that good jazz. And then Haley, once that is signed, I will send copies of everything with all the signatures and everything to you as well.
it. So, and I will second.
Okay, all in favor, or is it by resolution?
I don't think that one needs to be.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
The second one, Dr. and Carmen Williams, signed.
Yes, she's our contract coordinator for the region, so you'll sign it, I'll send it back to her, she'll sign it, and then it'll go into CSN, so that way when Haley does the monthly billing, they know, okay, this is our bucket to take it out of, all that kind of good stuff. So, and then did you sign the last page of the contract as well?
No idea. Yeah, that one.
That's the contract, should be the last page,
No, that's for the construction one.
Then,
I didn't print that one off.
no, that's all right, I got the signature page right here.
Yeah, go ahead. Email.
Now, with the signature. And the contract itself is with Benton County, since she is a Benton County employee. It's not specific with the hub, it's with Benton County, so that Benton County can bill the region for that service. Does that make sense? And that's all I have for you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wasn't that easy for you?
You know, I like to sit here and fire the ball, just watch you guys eat around it.
All right, Haley, once Ann signs this rate sheet, do you want me to send that back to you so you have
Yeah,
it?
you can just clean it.
All right, I will make sure she knows to get it back.
Thanks, Lorna.
Yep.
Don't work too hard today, guys.
Ron, I need to chat with you, so don't leave the building before you stop in my office.
Good. Hey, Chris. Hey. What do you got?
My empty lot.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
Yeah. Yes.
Kind of wrapped up.
Well, it's been a long time.
Been over a decade, right?
Yeah, the county's had the county health certificate, tax sale certificate on it since 2012. The lot had a house on it, it's at 512 West 6th Street. There was a house there, but it burned down in 06, 07, somewhere in there. And the property owners walked away. Taxes were never paid, it went on tax sale, there was a tax sale purchaser, they ended up taking deed to it, but then they never did anything with it.
I think we were on TV.
The city cleaned it up, that's where the $23,000 comes from, between some taxes and the original certificate. The city paid to clean it up, and they've actually paid to maintain it for the last few years too. Nobody's paid any taxes on it, so that's been racking up. So the city would like me to assign the certificate over to them so they can foreclose on the property, and then
They pay the taxes.
fortunately, no.
But there are interested parties that would like to build a house and give me some taxes.
We want to get it back on the tax roll. But if they go ahead and do the process and sign it over, I sign it over to them, they do the 90-day notice, we could get lucky and these people pay the $90,000, but I really doubt it. And the longer
Penalties and interest, everything.
yeah, and the longer it sits,
More it's gonna rack up.
we're gonna be over 100,000 pretty soon, and nobody wants to buy a lot at to build a house.
Not that small.
What you said was 512 was the.
Yeah, 512 West Sixth Street. Right now, between the tax sale alone is $82,000, but that's because we've got $58,691 in interest over 10 years. It started off at $23,858. So between that and what's left in the taxes, right now, as of yesterday, it's $90,849.
With the new taxes on it.
But, yeah, that's what the new one is. But if the county went ahead and did a 90-day notice and tried to foreclose on the property, we were still gonna be out the $82,000, no matter what. And then we'd have to pay the rest of the $5,961, and the city would lose all their would take their special assessments off too. But I think it's easier for the city to do a 90-day notice, take deed and sell the property versus the county.
If we take deed of it, we can sell property.
Yeah, you can get some money, but we have to go through, we have to do all the title search and everything and send all the certified letters out and do all that, and then it's just the time with it. But we've been trying for the last couple of years, trying to figure out how to get it back on the tax roll. Because people are interested, they come in and ask me about it, and that's a lot of money for somebody to pay for an empty lot, and that's not very big.
Yeah. Got a railroad going in the back of it too. Yeah.
And there is a little lot next to it that's for sale that if the taxes don't get sold, it is going, somebody's gonna take deed to it next month, maybe. But if they could get both of them together for, and, $20,000, $30,000, they'd be willing to build a house. And that would get it back on the tax roll for us.
And the city also has to go through the work, the legal actions to.
And they've been
resell.
maintaining it, so.
Yeah.
So if they do get deed to it, we can, if they get deed to it eventually, you guys can abate the $5,900 in taxes under code 445.163. But we can worry about that. The city would pay the $10 assignment fee for the certificate, and we would pay for the deed, which is $25.
What would people normally pay, let's say, for a lot like this?
15, 20 maybe?
That small? I don't know, maybe like 12.
Isn't it a 66, 132 lot?
Yeah, it's a narrow or smaller
20,
lot.
25 is what it seems to be doing.
And there's a railroad that goes right with it, so that, it's gonna need somebody that doesn't mind living by the railroad.
Exactly.
Right.
Mhm.
Too.
So,
It ain't like the trains are going through there at 80 miles an hour.
No, it's not that
no,
tiny.
but they go through there.
Plus, the city's they've been mowing it and doing all that, keeping it cleaned up for the last 10 years, so if we took deed to it, we'd have to
Clean it up.
maintain it. It's
Make a
just,
motion that we go ahead and abate those taxes.
Well,
Is that-
we can't abate them yet, we have to, you guys have to approve for me to sign the certificate.
Okay. To,
So does that have to be by resolution or anything? Just a motion?
Just, you
Okay.
guys just have to approve it.
to allow the treasurer to sign the certificate, assigning it over to the city of Benton.
There you go. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I'm hoping they come back and pay us the $90,000.
I didn't think of that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, all
Thanks for
right.
coming, Chris.
Thank you. Thank you for coming down.
Yeah.
So yeah, once the city, you guys bring them over the $10 money, you have to.
You're here with Todd, I suppose? No?
Oh, Todd's not coming. You're just-
No, his wife's coming.
Are you sure? Okay, because he sent that packet too, and I forwarded it to you guys.
You sent a packet?
I printed it, so here.
Good. I ain't got it. Did you get it?
I did
Okay.
too.
I don't either.
He called yesterday afternoon, so I don't know if she's still coming or not, but there's that. Here just for the public comments?
Yes.
What's the issue? I've done that.
We can do that.
Just trying to picture where that lot was, and now I just looked up on Google and it makes sense.
Yeah,
I kind of remember that fire.
Yeah, I do too now.
and it's.
This one I was thinking of on West
Two
Six was they burned that, but that was a controlled burn, they burned that one old house down, but that was between C and D Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
But that was what? 5, 6 years ago.
Yes, that one was, yeah.
Yeah.
Law enforcement agreement, is that on there too?
No, did I give you that? All right, that's my, that's for next week. Don't take that yet.
You saw him?
Yeah, you did.
I haven't do that either.
Shoot handles and stuff.
Do you know if Mark's coming in on this one too?
I have no idea. I was told that Todd talked to you and Mark. So I don't know anything about it.
From what I understand, and I've not read this, but kind of involved, Benton County doesn't have any setback requirements along this line here. DNR
Yes.
does.
Yep.
And so, Mark said he didn't need to come in before the board, but he felt he should.
Okay. So
So,
Mark is coming.
no,
No.
Mark felt that Todd didn't need to bring this up to the board.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, not much.
Todd felt it best, you know, with circumstances to get the blessing.
That link leaves up Twitter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read it. Okay, who's calling it off?
It's the
Metal
metal
detector.
detector.
Oh,
He says it's going to this up.
Mine ain't even coming in today.
I did send him that thing, so I wasn't sure what it was about.
You sent him something?
On that Todd's thing,
Okay.
when I was seeing right away, and then I didn't even realize it had to be logged.
He hadn't been out that way in a while. Is the curb closed yet, or Ben?
Yeah, I think so.
the curb,
Yeah.
the curb on 150 is not.
It's not closed.
No, but you cannot go straight onto Sunset.
Right, well, I knew that. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I just wondered, because the last time I talked to Myron, he had told me that it was coming up, that they were gonna have to close the curb because they had to join the two parts of
Can
the
you send him an email?
Yeah,
the highway into the roundabout.
Ask him what that riprap was for.
I don't know that it was over there. What day it was last week, I'm sorry.
Riprap.
I can't think,
Where it was.
but it was over there last week. It was open.
Because we're gonna run up to Butte Saturday, and I was trying to figure out if we're gonna have to go through Brandon.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I will, of course, abstain from any action on this.
The hog confinement business, huh?
My wife is putting the confinement up. That was her name in there.
Yeah. Guess I was going by what he was saying.
Who owns the two confinements? Here.
I don't know, about that. Sorry.
How far is the distance between, new proposed confinement and this? Half a mile.
Again, those are questions Todd could answer.
I guess they're not concerned about it.
Mark wasn't even concerned, so I believe it meets all the requirements.
You guys initially or just right okay?
No, that's fine.
Oh, that's your copy.
Yeah.
I was like, he gave me mine back. I emailed him, so we'll see what he says.
Okay.
I'm not sure if Denise is coming
He told me yesterday morning he was gonna come.
or not. Because then when
He
he
made
sent those about 3:30ish.
okay, he made the sketch of what I wanted. To give you more of an idea than just legal description. It's the only thing we discussed on the phone. I was more worried about, line of sight, for the driveway, but after seeing this, I have no problems at all. Well, legally, we gotta wait, what, 2 minutes yet?
I know that there's two locations. One of it is the other guy's already put in. So don't know if this has been put in yet or not. And naturally, Randy, sure. The roof.
It's pretty flat up there anyway.
So my question is, kind of a legal one here. If you abstain from it, you're gonna sign it yet?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Might not.
Your names are on both these.
Yeah. I don't know if I should vote on
Yeah, I understand. I agree with you.
it. But I should be able to sign on it, even if I abstain.
All right, 9:30. This is for Todd Wiley's building a new hub, like, do I have a motion? I guess it's up to me and you, so approved. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay.
So we don't have to do this by resolution, right? Because I never would remember doing it. I don't know that we used to have the capital or whatever, so we signed that resolution, didn't we?
Well, I don't
Or you guys review the review or whatever, and now we don't have to.
We'll see that.
Again, the county is.
That's why
really
it's more
has
of a
nothing
state,
to
No,
right?
do
it's the
Okay.
state that
It's a
we're,
DNR
yeah.
thing, so, you know, I don't even know they have to abstain with it being DNR, it just
I don't know, I just don't remember.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pictures.
Sure. Put them in my book.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I don't know if I'll scan that back to Todd or if he'll come
Yeah,
in.
yeah, you'll have to send it to.
Oh, those?
Yep, right there.
Oh.
Somebody close to the front right now. Alright. We'll do reports last.
Sure.
I'm considered old business, so
Okay.
I'm here regarding the pit bull ban. I went to the Keystone meeting and I chose not to talk because there's cameras in your face and they only air what they want to air, obviously. So I wanted to ask the guy that was advocating for the pit bulls, I think his name was Preston Moore. I wanted to ask him what county he lived in. He's not here, so I don't know. Lynn. So how many pit bulls does he own?
Could we get you to tell us who you are, please?
Yeah, I'm Julene Jensen, Julene Jensen.
Okay, thank you.
You need my address?
Not necessarily.
So I want to know how many pit bulls he owned, being that he doesn't live in Benton County and he advocates for them. I assume he doesn't own any. But
do not know that.
I do not know, but I wanted that information, but I can't get that information.
What is our FFID?
He did mention something about lifting the ban would save Benton County tax dollars. How would that save tax dollars? I'm wondering.
I don't see that it would say the same thing. That's just.
For the residents in town.
So this whole thing came to light because a child was bit by a pit bull. And now the pit bull owners are crying, they have to lose their dogs. Wasn't this ordinance put into effect because of pit bull tax, right? All right, well, they're claiming they're responsible owners, but if they're responsible owners, wouldn't they know that their breed is ranked #1 most vicious breed in the United States? Pit bulls only make up 6% of all the breeds in America, and they're the #1 most vicious dog. So, in 2013, I lost a dog, a puppy. I lived in Cedar Rapids. Our puppy Angus was in his fenced-in backyard. We thought was safe, doing puppy things, going potty, playing. We were responsible, we had the fence. He's out there being a puppy. And the neighbor's pit bull got into our yard and mauled my puppy. Later on, we spoke to the neighbor. She had owned the pit bull since it was a puppy. It had showed no aggression. She raised it right in a loving home. She took blame for the whole incident and said she would pay the vet bills that acquired from her dog's attack on our dog. Well, she didn't. Her dog got to live because it was its first offense. My dog died because of her dog. All she had to do was relocate it. So, did that dog bite again? I don't know. She won't talk to me because she probably thinks I want money for the vet bill. But how responsible is that? There's not very many towns in Iowa or counties that ban pit bulls. So after that attack, I moved to Benton County. I don't want to have to deal with pit bulls, ever. No, I don't hate them, but I will never trust them, and I will never put my family or my pets anywhere near them, for the fact that this one that mauled my dog was raised in a loving home. Raised right, well, it turned. She had the option to euthanize her dog or relocate it. She chose relocating it. I don't know. If your dog was raised in a loving home and it mauled another dog to death, I would think a responsible owner would want that dog put down. For liability issues, maybe, I don't know. The Keystone people, I understand some of them are getting where they're saying it's not fair, blah, 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 because it's a mix and it's not a pit bull. Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but they love their community so much. When their neighbors like them enough to fight for them, none of them. I mean, there was a couple people, but they were all pit bull people. So, they're saying to blame the owners of the vicious dogs for the attacks. The pit bull that attacked the child in Keystone, nobody claimed. How are you supposed to hold them accountable for a pit bull attack if nobody's going to claim it? They claim to be responsible. Well, they should know that that breed is ranked number one most vicious. They should know that many towns and communities have bans. They should have known this before moving to Keystone. The people with the mixes, I don't know what they look like. They claim they're not pit bull, but whatever. I just don't understand how they can just say it just depends on, how it's raised. Well, if that's true, then these shelters that are trying to adopt out pit bulls that are 2 or 3 years old, isn't that dangerous? Because how do you know how it was treated before it was taken to the shelter? You don't know what its triggers are. Let's say a family is expecting a child, but they have depression running in their family, so they adopted that child out. That child was raised in a loving home. Will its depression show up later on in life? Maybe. It's just like aggression. Those dogs were bred to be vicious. If you're on TikTok, type in pit bull. Check out all them videos of them pit bulls, them loving pit bulls attacking dogs on the streets in town, everywhere, wherever. And then you got people that are responsible, but they're posting memes with pit bulls being vicious and fuck with me and find out. Well, why do people that have incidences, or people that I have PTSD from this, so it's kind of hard for me to even think, but yeah, it's not fair that they have to get rid of their dog. It wasn't fair for that kid to have his ear ripped off either. It's not fair that I lost a puppy that wasn't even 6 months old because it was mauled to death by a loving pit bull. I moved to this community or this county because there's a pit bull ban. I live out in the country. I don't have to deal with people because I can't deal with people anymore because this world has just gone to shit. But if you lift that ban, I'm going to be the first one right here saying I told you so, because there will be bites, there will be attacks, and their owner will claim that they were responsible and they raised it right in a loving home. I don't doubt that them people in Keystone, I'm not saying they didn't raise their dog right. I'm not. I don't know them personally, but they sound sincere. But what is your definition on responsibility and raising right? Everybody's is different. Somebody might say, I raised it right in a loving home. I treated it like a child. I got its shots done. It gets fed. That's right, right? Well, no, because when you get a pit bull and you realize its background history is aggression, you want to expose that puppy before it's 16 weeks old. That's when their brain is sponges with everything on any breed. You expose them to cats, especially if you live in town. You expose them to cats. You expose them to city workers or whoever's going to be walking next to your property. Did they? We don't know. They might say they're responsible, but obviously the pure pit bull people aren't responsible because they blamed their realtor for not telling them about the pit bull ban. I don't think it's the realtor's job to tell anybody about the pit bull ban, and if she would have told them, she probably would have lost that home sale. Is it her fault? No. But if these people are so responsible, they should know their breed. Maybe do a little research before moving to a community. I don't think any ban should be lifted on the pit bulls because you just don't know. I'm not saying any attack, that's the only breed that will attack. Any dog can attack. I realize that. I own labs. But I don't go around telling people it's the nicest dogs in the world and they will never hurt you because they're dogs. You just never know. I am totally for the pit bull ban. And if you accommodate these people, are you going to accommodate me and my PTSD?
Well, first off, the towns have control of the towns. We don't have control of the towns. So even though, let's say we are not going to do anything, if Keystone does something, that's Keystone's area. Just like every other town. If Benton does something, we don't have any control of what goes on in town. So.
I realize that. But I couldn't speak at that meeting. I couldn't hold it together. I bawled my eyes out when they were giving their statements. He had to walk out to get air because of their statements. Yeah, it's not fair having to remove your pet, but it's not fair watching your dog being mauled to death by a loving pit bull. I know people that own pit bulls. I don't hate them. They are raising them right, but most of them rescued them. They don't know what happened to them before they became their owners. They don't know what's going to trigger them. I'll never trust a pit bull, ever. Ever. And lifting a ban, it's not going to save tax dollars. You're going to have good people leaving because of if the ban was lifted. Because some people come here for security because of the ban, which is me. Regardless, I live out in the country, and I'm not saying there's no pit bulls out in the country. They better not come on my property. Because I have every right to do what I think is safe.
Just to be clear though, we have not suspended, we have not changed anything. Our pit bull ordinance is still in effect. We haven't done anything. You give us a bunch of literature to look at, this Preston Tobin, and I have his card, and you can call him. I'll let you have it. But as of right now, our ban is still on, our ordinance is still in effect. We have not enacted anything yet. Okay?
That's good. I made comments on the Facebook post for KCRG. The pit bull warriors came out, threatened my life. Yeah, they're so responsible people, but pit bull owners making comments saying, find out who filed the reports, make name public, let the people do the rest. If they're scared of dogs, they'll be terrified when half the state is out to find them. I wouldn't mind driving through Benton County and seeing a body swinging from a tree. I'm sorry, but doesn't that bother you guys? These 10 people claim that this individual told them that they had to remove their dogs in 10 days. He claims he didn't tell them that. If they're lying about that, what else are they lying about? I'm just saying, please don't lift the ban. Please.
Okay, I hear you.
I live about, well, I used to live about, our ground starts a mile south of Highway 30. People come out there all the time, drop off their dog with a couple sandwiches, then they'll come back 2 days later, give them a couple more sandwiches.
Are they pit bulls?
I don't know what they are for the most part, but I know that they're doing that all the time. It's not right.
It's not. It was brought up in the Keystone meeting that Waterloo Shelter, that lady says that, well, if Benton County lifts the ban, their shelter wouldn't be full of pit bulls anymore. Well, there's no ban in Waterloo, right? So why aren't all them people buying the pit bulls? I just find it very irresponsible for them to keep saying, quit blaming the responsible pit bull owners. To be responsible, you need to have knowledge on your breed. You need to know. They can snap, they can turn, but no, they're the most loving dog in the world. They wouldn't hurt a soul. Well, their neighbors would differ. They don't agree. They're feeling threatened because of their dogs, but they claim that they're loving dogs. If you live in town, train your dog. If you can't control them or tell them to shut up and they don't shut up, you can't control your dog.
You had emailed us, I don't know if the other two saw it or not, but I did. I read it word for word, and quite honestly, I thank you for coming in. You know, it's nice to see the face behind the email and to feel the emotions that you have involved in this. You know, I really appreciate you coming in. It takes a lot of courage to do that.
Thank you.
No, thank you. So.
And all them people that gave their speeches at the Keystone, I told them they did a great job. I was trying to make the one lady calm down because she was hysterical. Of course she is. She's got to lose her dog. At least I hope so, because it's a pit bull. They claim that you can hold them responsible, but they'll always have an excuse. How about the 70-year-old lady that was mauled to death by her son's pit bull?
I read that article.
The responding officers are in therapy from what they've seen. Who's going to pay their therapy bills for the rest of their lives? Who's going to pay that 2-year-old's bills? You can't tell me she's not. You can't tell me she's going to forget about that because she's 2. She'll have nightmares. It might not be now, but it'll come around. They claim they're responsible, but the one that mauled mine was not. She claimed she was. She thought she was. Everybody's definition of responsible and raised right are completely different. So for anybody to think, well, it's raised right, I just shake my head because I know, I've been there. You don't know. And the fact that they keep saying it's the loving pit bull, it'll never hurt a soul. Stupidest thing in the world to say, because I hope it doesn't turn, but it probably more likely will. They'll get purebreds at some point, but she'll have an excuse. Oh, they were taunting it, or it's always somebody else's fault, like the pit bull that mauled the 70-year-old lady. The husband was only gone for a short amount of time. It wasn't like he was gone for 8 hours. He left, went somewhere, and came back within a couple hours, and she was scattered throughout the yard. and their son raised that dog. Well, the Pitbull Warriors, all their comments, well, of course, it was in distraught because, you know, it lost its owner, and there's always an excuse. I'm just wanted to say my deal, and I was happy to do it without a camera in my face. Thank you. I have nothing against pit bull owners, but you can have your loving pit bull, just not in Benton County. Especially in a town. Yeah, I know there's people with pit bulls out in the country where I live, in Benton County, but I don't see them, I don't hear them, and luckily they don't end up on my property. Because I'm not gonna say, but yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, hey, here's your card for Preston.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Why is the ban just for pit bulls?
It isn't.
It's not.
Have you read?
I read it, that it specifically mentioned pit bulls or dogs that look like pit bulls, the county.
It does.
That's down there, what?
2000
Yeah.
is when it happened.
I was here, but there was something that happened.
Yes, there was. Similar case. Yeah, I got a call from an individual that had this happen. Yep. And so,
Well, the only reason I ask is because it's like, last year, there was a case in Cedar Rapids, where, well, it was, somebody originally from Benton, was headed around.
Oh, yeah.
Was walking her two little dogs in her neighborhood in Cedar Rapids, and neighbor's German Shepherd attacked and killed both of the little dogs. Angie covered a story when we were living in Kansas where a Rottweiler pretty much bit a 12-year-old kid's head off. So I just wondered why it was only pit bulls. Because you got, I mean, Rottweilers and any dogs like that are capable of that. That's why I just wondered why it was just limited to pit bulls and pit bull looking dogs.
I imagine, Jeff, it's a statistical scenario.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've read that ordinance numerous times, and I know that it refers to other dogs as well, but it does target pit bulls.
I just meant it mentioned pit bulls specifically, is what I mean, yeah.
Was that little girl doing?
I've heard
Was there a meeting last night or something then? Or was
last Thursday.
Last week.
Did you attend that, Jeff?
Yeah, I did. It was like she said, it was a lot of people got up and talked about, you know, don't take my dog, don't take my dog. But a lot of it too was just about the fact that it was a breed specific. You know, I think, you know, what Preston's big thing is that it shouldn't be breed specific, it should be specific or individual animal specific or something like that. It's like, I don't know.
How, with the number of pit bulls that are in the country, and the number of bites, and other things that have happened where the person's bites until it cut apart.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to write a law that's capable of handling if you're not going to be breed specific, because if all these instances are with pit bulls, what's going on? I mean, it's not like a lab. Maybe a lab bites somebody or something like that, but
No, I see what you're saying.
It works. I had 3 meetings meeting last night, just me and Shelby, the only two there. We haven't had one.
What kind?
3 years, yeah, we had 3 years since we had our last one.
What was the?
Reed,
Oh, Reed.
the DNR.
We get money from the state.
Yeah. September 15th, 5 to 7, they're gonna have a Shane Day up the Shane property. The pin and all that, everything on that 160 up there, September 15th. That's about it, I guess. You know, you got a lot on the works, you know, coming up. So that was one thing I was gonna address, about this shower house that she wants to get. So far, yes, so far, everything that they have purchased so far on, through the ARP money, we, kinda like as a committee, we kinda all agree what everybody's gonna get, and they more or less get it, and then the bill comes in, and then we okay it. You know, the only highest price thing that we have paid out of that fund so far is towards the towers, correct? 700 some thousand bucks first payment.
But we agreed to go up to 2 million, we just haven't got all that portion yet.
Right.
How much are the towers gonna cost?
The whole project, or just the towers?
Just the
Well,
towers?
the civil portion was gonna be up to the 2 million, that's why we could commit that amount towards it. But it could change now.
Sounds
None
like
of
there's
the
these
towers are gonna work.
changes.
So, is it all right to keep going like they've been, or should Shelby come in, or my question is, $200 some thousand for this shower house? You know what I mean? Does she need to come in and ask to go spend the ARPA money? I mean, we haven't done it in the past. This is her, she wants to cover her bases, and I get where she's coming from.
Yeah.
And I said, I didn't want to answer it last night, so what do you think?
Because ultimately, it gives you guys a choice. We
Yeah,
just had our
I mean, we
committee.
okay when the bill comes in, we say, yeah, pay it, but
And the board will okay how the ARPA funds are spent.
right,
It just seems like 200,000 for a shower house is a lot of money. You build a whole house for that.
I believe it's 200, I can't remember without
Yeah, I don't know.
digging through all the.
And then we got the wiring stuff from Ben, you know, some of that stuff we already got quoted, but I've not got the second half payment yet either, so.
Yeah, it would be nice to know how that shakes out, because again, grandson just built a house over here, he didn't spend 200,000. He sold it for less than that.
What did this cost,
What's that?
this building right here?
Here?
No, that was somewhere around
200,
yeah.
240.
So it could be a communal shower house, or a big one.
Well, I know, but I just threw that figure out there.
It'd be nice to see
I
where,
think it has to be like storm protection too for the campers though too, more to it than just regular shower.
Because this is gonna be a concrete deal.
or concrete walls. I understand that. It just seems like a lot of money for a concrete shower house.
Okay.
So,
I just threw that figure out there.
Yeah.
Don't be scared of that.
okay.
Getting back to my question, does she need to come and ask, or just let things go?
It'd be nice to know what the numbers are.
Okay, all right,
Well, if it's over 100, she'll have to get quotes and bids anyway
okay,
for our procurement policy.
okay.
It'll probably be over 100 by the time we get done.
If she's gotta put a leach field in, you know.
That's a septic type thing, you know, I get it. They've already got, they have water out there already.
Yeah,
I thought they did, so that shouldn't be a major issue
No.
tapping into that then, so.
They already got that kinda lined up with Mark Greenlee, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think they got water. Well, they got a shower house over there,
Where?
or a toilet,
No,
you know.
I don't think so.
pit toilets. Then they gotta pump them. all I got. Second thing is, on the tower deal, that's why Ron was sticking around here, and of course,
Yeah,
got late, whatever, but anyway, according to the contract at Allard, you know, I trust Raycom, they've been in business for years, they're,
that's included in their quote.
yes. But we can knock 42,000 off the $7.2 million bill. And I guess Ron and Scott and me, we kind of agreed that, okay, we're still old school that, we don't like, something don't work, we go pay it, simple as that.
Okay.
Well,
You'd have to visit with them, see if they're willing to reduce.
Yes, they are. The option's out there for us. And like I said, that I'm just bringing this to you guys' attention, since I'm on this radio deal.
I think it'd be wise to give it on the phone with them, so we can have Scott here, the sheriff here, and I trust you. I mean, that's not the case. I just wonder if it's wise, as far as taxpayer dollars, to not have them purchase that.
I'm questioning that as well, but I used to do business with Raycom 30 years ago. And they're good.
But is that something we need to make sure we can meet?
They already sent emails back and forth, they're
Okay.
waiting on,
Because I mean,
and that's why I wanted to have a face-to-face with Scott and,
If you have it on the agenda, then we can take an action, and make, I think that would be the way to go.
discuss performance bond.
Yeah.
for the radio budget. I don't have a time on there, but if you guys, I'll just put it in red now.
oh, yes, fine.
How frequently does that happen? Performance bond being,
Well, so I mean, for all those projects,
I
I
get
get them,
Yeah.
watershed and all those people, that's why I don't know what legally we can waive or can't waive for that.
yeah, I just, I don't know.
That's all I got.
Sad part of it is, if something does happen,
I know.
And then it's gonna fall on the county's level, so you
We
might, you
get-
might have to check with ours.
We got a whole lot of money, 7.2, and now you had another 438,000 for add-ons for the towers. We're cranking her up there, we're just short of 8 mil,
yeah.
and 42,000 kind of a pittance.
They're supposed to be giving us a breakdown, because a lot of these towers that we got right now, we're gonna reuse buildings, we're gonna reuse LP tanks,
Right.
we're gonna reuse generators,
But it's,
and that's,
beefing them up.
yeah, that's, we're trying to get, we want an itemized list now. They sent me the DDR to sign, and I said, I ain't signing it yet, boys. So, that's kind of where we're at on that.
Sure.
I'll talk to Ron later this week, and, Scott,
I think we'll get them in here.
Scott can have a meeting Thursday.
Go from there.
did Myron give you an email back yet?
Yes, sorry, I forgot about that. He said it was north of Keystone on the washouts.
Okay, because, they got, that's another thing, they got the dual in Hoffman, Riverbank done.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Yep,
I seen them hauling riprap yesterday.
yep, see, that's where on the bills,
Uh-huh.
I seen riprap that, and I thought, well, did the county haul? But totally different project.
Yeah.
So that bill will be coming.
Okay, they're still hauling yesterday.
Well, they still work?
Yep, I've seen them go through town.
Okay,
So,
alrighty.
Motion to adjourn.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright.